It's a resource wrangling day today. We have 12,000-ish resources to get into the base to carry on with our uranium fuel rod. What's going on, everybody? My name's Ollie, and welcome to Barely Building. Last time, we built this giant uranium fuel rod, which is going to house our uranium fuel rod production. And today, we're going to be building the trains that we need to bring in 12,000 odd resources that we need to process all of the world's uranium into uranium fuel rods. We've got another new name here for our community wall. If you want to be featured up on here, just sub to the channel and comment I subbed, just so I know you've done it, and I will get your name up on the wall. Okay, so today's video is a simple one, if not a very time-consuming one. We need to get about 12,000 raw materials per minute down here to our huge uranium fuel rod. And we're going to do that via train. So let's take a quick look at the plan. And just popping into the pub here, we have our plan up on the wall. We're going to be focusing on the quartz, the uranium, the sulfur, the caterium, and the coal. The iron and the limestone we can get just from around us. So we're going to need about 2 train cars worth of coal, 3 train cars worth of quartz, 4 sulfur, 4 uranium, and 8 trains of caterium. And to give you an idea of what we're going to do, we have 1 train. This is going to be our coal, sulfur, and quartz train. So we have 2 coal, we have 4 sulfur, and 3 quartz there. So that's going to be our first train. The second train is going to be our caterium train. So we just have our 8 cars for caterium. And then lastly, 4 cars just for a single uranium track that will be on its own. And we're going to do what we have been doing. We're going to follow the land just a little bit. We have some coal here and some sulfur here. This train will then loop around here. It will go underground, pick up the load of quartz from inside the cave, and then back round and back in to the main base down here. And the second line will go south. It will pick up a couple of sulfur nodes, one here, and then bring it back. And that's all that train will do. And just to give you an idea of the rough plan, here's the first one. So we'll grab 2 coal nodes from down there, 2 600s, and there's 2 impure sulfur nodes that way, which will merge together and bring down into this cart, so that then we'll have our 600 sulfur. We'll follow this through into the cave, follow the cave through, back round, and then back to our base. And something incredibly strange happened. So we ran the train alongside our old phase 2 factory that we've got running here, and this thing has ran since I built it with 0 problems. But as soon as we brought this train anywhere near this, the power just tripped, which is incredibly strange. Everything's on its own grid in this save. Every factory has its own power plant. And we are well within. We were making 975 or something like that here. And we were well in. We didn't go anywhere near the capacity line. But this factory just kept tripping constantly. So I had to put in another coal generator over here. Luckily, we have Mark III miners now. So I could just upgrade this miner here. And we could feed in enough coal to give this a bit of overhead. It doesn't touch the power line that's powering this rail. I don't know if there was some sort of bug where it was picking the power up and the max consumption was tripping it out. I don't know. It was very, very, very odd. But this line runs round, and the reflections of the uranium fuel rod in the water just look absolutely amazing. And something I do for every large scale project where we're bringing in lots of resources is to test the throughput by feeding every single item coming in into an awesome sink, so we can clear it out and we can check then on each of these what throughput we've got and whether it's enough. Do we need to add another train? Do we need to look at the route, etc, etc, etc? So we'll leave this to run while we build the other train, and we can monitor then that we have enough items coming in to run the project once it kicks off. The second train line is going to grab a couple of sulfur nodes. We're using our dual train blueprint for this one. The train's going to run out here. It will split here. Don't worry about these. We're going to fill these in later. It will split here. The train will go up. There's a sulfur node on the other side of this mountain. Feeds around. Grabs a sulfur node from the top of a cliff over there. Back round. up this big long line here and then back into our base. And it was at this point I realized I did this completely wrong. So I came to do the Caterium line and I realized 3 of the Caterium nodes we need are in that direction. And 3 of the Caterium nodes we need are in that direction. I looked at it and this train would have just had to go exactly the same way as this train just to collect a different resource, and it makes absolutely 0 sense. So please bear with me while I tear this entire thing down and start again. And that took a significant amount of hours. So we now have an even bigger train with 2 coal, 2 sulfur, 3 Caterium and 3 quartz. I mean, I even ran the train line past a Caterium node that I need. Just right past it. So we have one big train line here doing the lion's share of the work. And this smaller train line runs on the same route. It carries on a little bit further. This now brings in 3 Caterium and 2 sulfur. And we're just monitoring the throughput while we're working on this, just to make sure. And it looks like it is. Everything is coming in at the speed that we want it to. And that's the bulk of the resources moved in. We tweaked the plan a little bit to use a little bit more iron to make the wire, to cut down the Caterium requirement, just to make the train a little bit easier. But the last step and the hardest one of the project is running the uranium train line from here all the way around the world and back, to bring in 2,100 uranium per minute. The first station grabs 300 uranium from atop this massive cliff. And the second station gave us quite a unique problem. Now, we have no world power grid. This line of resources at the bottom here feeds our package turbo fuel plant and runs off this power grid here. We needed to grab uranium from over there for the project all the way that way, which has its own power grid. But I wanted to use this infrastructure to move down the uranium to the train station. So we had to make sure that these power grids did not touch whatsoever, which meant running a new power line all the way down to the station to keep this power separate from this power. The second station is in. This is picking up the second lot of 300 uranium per minute. And this can now move on to the next impure node. Our third station is out here in the swamp, and there's a really awkward node underneath me here inside the waterfall cave. So we've been a little bit cheeky and we've brought up the resources through the ground here inside this frame foundation. Doesn't look too bad. I didn't want to run a belt out here. It would just look terrible. So that is station number 3, picking up the last of the impure nodes. And then we just have 2 normal nodes left to collect. Our 4th station is down here inside this cave. This picks up a normal node. So 600 a minute through here. Train grabs this and then heads off outside the cave. And this next bit, I need a bit of help in the comments. We had 2 options. We could either come out of this cave and follow the landscape around here, and we'd have to try and find a way to climb across here and up. But instead, I decided to go over the pit using this bridge. Now, what do you guys think of this? Does this look ridiculous? I've never built a bridge. So let me know in the comments what you think of this. And if you are still here, please consider a sub. It's free. And it really, really helps me. Really makes me smile when we get new subs. But anyway, we travel up here and off to the next node. And this brings us to our last train station for the uranium collection. This comes from up here, out of the red forest, down this bit of infrastructure we already had, and then across over to the train. We run the train line down this mountain into the cave, and it brings us nicely back to our giant uranium fuel rod. We have 2 trains on this track because it is a long one. We need these numbers to be 600, 300, 600, 600. So we'll keep an eye on that. And all that's left to do is to drop a bit of decoration on it. This is the kind of theme I'm going with. So this curved edge, straight across, all the way across. And we're going to try and get some of this green lighting in there. So let's get on with that. And here it is. I had to stop the time-lapse camera as it was lagging the stream. We did this on a live stream, so go follow the Twitch. And so some of this was missing out of the time-lapse, but it looks really, really, really good. I'm really happy with this. And I'm also extremely burnt out from doing these train lines, so that will be it for today's video. If you have enjoyed it, please consider dropping a sub on the channel. I do stream twice a week, so I stream here and on Twitch if you wanted to follow that. And remember to just comment I subbed if you drop a sub on the YouTube, and I will get you up on the community wall. But until then, I will see you in the next one.